Today, we're diving into a story that honestly doubles as an absolute masterclass in business. We're looking at the fable of Ethan. He was a poor carpenter who started with next to nothing and systematically built this massive global furniture empire. And the blueprint he used? Well, it's not just about wood and nails. It is a brilliant study in branding, unwavering integrity, and serious long-term vision.
So, can a small workshop really build a global company? Let's step right into the place where it all began to figure that out. Picture Ethan's tiny, dusty workshop. It's incredibly modest, very small, and yet this is exactly where his giant dream of creating the world's most trusted furniture brand was born. Looking at a space like this really forces us to ask, how do you actually go from a total local unknown to a worldwide sensation? Section 1. The Foundation of Vision.
You see, Ethan's story definitely doesn't kick off in some sleek corporate boardroom. No, it begins with him as a 22-year-old guy just meticulously sanding a single wooden chair. In fact, a wealthy customer looks around this tiny shop and straight up mocks the idea that it could ever become a big business. But Ethan, he doesn't let it faze him. He just replies, every great company begins with one customer. He's hyper-focused on immediate craftsmanship rather than trying to scale too fast. And this totally echoes a lesson from his mentor, a humble carpenter named Father Joseph, who always taught him that quality is remembered long after the price is forgotten. Ethan knows for sure that if he can just win over one single customer with undeniable quality, well, the rest will naturally follow.
Even his best friend Leo likes to give him a hard time about it. After hours, when Ethan is meticulously sketching out all these new designs in his notebook, Leo jokes around asking if he's trying to design a literal palace. But Ethan's real goal is actually beautifully simple. He just wants to make homes more beautiful. It just goes to show that a truly strong vision has to be grounded in serving the end user. Success really is built one piece and one customer at a time.
Moving on to Section 2. Integrity opens new doors. We hit a major turning point here that puts Ethan's principles to the absolute test. It all starts when someone leaves a highly expensive handbag sitting right outside his workshop. Now, his friend Leo whispers that they finally caught a lucky break, but Ethan doesn't hesitate for a second. He returns the bag immediately. And it turns out the owner is a famous interior designer named Mrs. Sophia. She's so blown away by his honesty that she rewards him with his foundational business truth. She tells him, beautiful furniture can be copied, good character cannot. Because of this one act of integrity, she actually offers to mentor him in modern design. And notice how Ethan actively runs with this mentorship. He isn't just sitting back and passively listening. He dives headfirst into furniture design. He obsessively studies customer preferences, focuses on constant quality improvement, and really learns the nuts and bolts of business branding. He completely transforms himself from a simple carpenter into this highly strategic brand builder. Through all of this, Mrs. Sophia teaches him the real definition of value. She makes him realize that to build a successful brand, you have to completely shift your perspective. You aren't just selling a raw commodity. As she puts it, people don't buy wood. They buy an emotional experience. They buy comfort, they buy trust, and they buy beauty. That mindset shift, that is everything. This contrast perfectly sets up Ethan's next big test. A greedy businessman named Mr. Blake shows up and tells Ethan to just use cheap wood and paint it really well, claiming nobody will ever know the difference. It's that classic trap of chasing short-term profit. But Ethan flat out rejects those shortcuts. He boldly tells Mr. Blake that he builds furniture for families, not for complaints. He chooses long-term trust over a quick buck and sends an angry Mr. Blake packing. That brings us to Section 3, Quality Defeats Cheap Imitations. Years pass, and Ethan finally opens his very first furniture showroom. But it leads to this hilarious yet incredibly pivotal moment for the brand. It's opening day, and honestly, the crowd is pretty sparse. Suddenly, his friend Leo accidentally sits on a display chair that wasn't totally put together yet, and the whole thing completely collapses under him. But instead of panicking or getting embarrassed, Leo just stands up, smiling, and announces to the room, "Good news! Now we know which chair still needs work."
And everyone just cracks up. That quick, humorous admission of a flaw totally wins over the customers in the room. It just proves that authentic transparency builds serious trust. And after that, their sales slowly begin to climb. So, this trust is put to the ultimate test when a massive corporate copycat enters the picture. This giant company steals Ethan's exact designs and dramatically slashes their prices. Naturally, widespread panic sweeps through Ethan's employees. But Ethan, he stays totally steady and calm, just reminding his team they can copy our designs, but they can't copy our quality. Instead of getting dragged into a desperate race-to-the-bottom price war, look at how Ethan's team responds. They double down. They improve their customer service even more. They elevate their craftsmanship to completely new heights. And Ethan just provides that calm, steady leadership. By refusing to compromise on their standards, they successfully keep their loyal customer base, simply because they offer vastly superior value that some cheap copycat literally just can't match. Which brings us to Section 4, Building a Lasting Legacy. Fast forward through years of relentless, grinding hard work. Ethan isn't just the guy in the dusty shop anymore. He is now running a global empire. He's featured in magazines with massive headlines reading, "Poor Carpenter builds global furniture empire." And when a reporter asks him the secret to this unbelievable success, Ethan just smiles and gives an answer that really defines his whole career. He says, "I never built furniture just to sell. I built it to improve people's lives." And that right there proves that true, sustainable value comes from maintaining a mission-driven purpose right from day one. Let's just trace this incredible journey for a second. He starts out in that small, mocked workshop. He grows into that first showroom where the chair broke. He scales all the way up to a massive global empire. But the fourth step is arguably the most important of all. It's his ultimate philanthropic goal of opening free woodworking schools for poor youth. You see, the empire was never the end goal. It was just the vehicle he used to give back. By empowering hundreds of students with valuable, life-changing skills, Ethan gets the ultimate praise from his old mentor, Father Joseph. He proudly hugs Ethan and says, "You didn't just build furniture, you built futures." Ethan proves that the ultimate measure of your business success isn't just the bottom line. It's the positive, lasting impact that you leave on your community. At the very end of our story, Ethan goes back to his original old wooden workshop, and he reminds us of the core thesis we absolutely have to take away from his life's work. Quality always wins. Build with honesty, grow with patience. There really are no shortcuts to building a legacy. While he's back in that old shop, this nervous young carpenter walks up to Ethan and asks him the exact same question we started this explainer with. Can someone from a small workshop really build a global company? Ethan just smiles, hands the young guy a simple hammer, and tells him, every masterpiece begins with one strike. It is such a beautifully inspiring piece of parting advice about the sheer power of just taking action. So, I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. As you step out into your own workshop of life, whatever your craft or your business might be, ask yourself, what is the first strike you need to make today? Dream big, focus on the quality of your next move, and go out there and create something that truly lasts. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.